Whatever Jeff Bezos is doing.
He's doing definitely doing some testosterone. He looks jacked. He looks jacked, right?
Yeah, but he's like
Quick.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like
he got jacked
at
quick.
age like 50, at age 59 in less than a year, he went from pencil net geek to looking like like The Rock.
Yeah, like a little miniature alpha fella.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like his neck got bigger than his head.
Yeah, he got big quick.
But then like his earlier pictures, his neck's like a noodle.
I support this activity. I like to see him going in this direction.
Which is fine, and his voice dropped like 2 octaves.
I want you to move in that direction as well. I think we can achieve this.
I mean, I should.
I think we can achieve Giga Chad.
It sounds like Elon Musk wants to get shredded. What is stopping him? He built an empire, but the real question is, did money steal his health? It's not willpower, it's not time. I mean, the man tweets for 2 hours a day. It's the chaos of making billion-dollar decisions, constantly being on the go, and the relentless pursuit of success that sacrificed his physical well-being. The lie is that chaos means failure. The truth is that is only a problem if you don't have the right system. At my health concierge, Lazy Shredded, we specializing in helping leaders like you optimize your health, presence, and peak performance. In this video, I'm going to break down the step-by-step blueprint I would use to get Elon into peak condition in just 90 days, so you can copy the system and achieve the same results. Let's say Elon signs up with Lazy Shredded. What happens next? For every client that joins us, we start them off at the priming phase. And this is the most crucial phase because this is where we set the foundation for success. So for Elon specifically, and this is what we do for every client, we would want to take them through 3 phases within the priming phase. And this starts off with the audit. This is where we collect all the necessary information. So looking at Elon's physique, we would, for example, collect his body fat percentage, his weight, his height, his current sleep schedule, his current habits, his travel schedule. We want to collect all the necessary data. To give you more details on this, even his sleep patterns, everything around his life. Additionally, we also want to identify the core constraints. So what is the main reason he hasn't been able to succeed when it comes to his health and fitness? Why? Because constraint thinking is something the most successful businesses and people apply into their life. Because more often than not, the reason we haven't achieved something we want to achieve is because there's one constraint blocking us from achieving that. And if we solve that, it will make everything else easier. I know for Elon, for example, he doesn't sleep too much. I heard he sleeps 4 hours a day. Sleep is crucial for muscle building, fat loss, so many other benefits. And just to speak about the key metrics, looking at his physique right now, he's probably around above 30% body fat. Definitely not ideal. I actually had a conversation yesterday with one of my clients and we're joking a little bit about this because I was telling about the concept of the video. And he has like a really interesting stomach because it almost goes up a little bit. But I would say definitely above 30%. And I just want to say, like, I have massive respect for what he's built, but I was also sharing with my clients that I don't know if I would swap my life with him. Because at the end of the day, what's money good for if you can't enjoy it to the highest degree? You can't do the activities you want to. You can't just say, I want to go kayaking or go hiking or just even be healthy enough to be present when you go on vacation.
That's really funny that you brought up Elon Musk because, yeah, I saw that and I was like, is this in my future if I don't start exercising? It happened.
But it's interesting though, just to end on this, I genuinely always think, I don't know if I would swap my life with Elon. Like, I don't know, right?
That's like a really good point, Dom. I mean, the more I'm working out, like that cliche or that saying of like health is wealth, like it really is.
Additionally, with the data collection, what we do for Elon is we do a gut microbiome test just to find out the ideal and most optimal foods for him specifically. And then to find his current maintenance calories, which is key to then determine, do we need to go on to the metabolic optimization phase, which I'll share in a little bit. We'll do a combination of both a basal metabolic rate, which is basically your energy output if you did nothing and you just lied in bed all day. And in combination with just letting him eat for 3-4 days and we track everything. And then based on that, we see the weight fluctuation. And then based on that, we can determine his current energy expenditure. This is super crucial because this leads me on to reverse engineering success, which is still part of the audit. Once we have all the data, we want to calculate the data. So now we are crystal clear on the current metabolic state. And if he has a primed metabolism, we don't move him to the metabolic optimization phase, which I'll share in a little bit, which is very, very cool. But if it's not optimized, we do need to take him through that phase because this will allow you to burn more fat at rest and making the whole journey so much easier and more sustainable. Crystal clear goal setting, very important. We want to get clear on the vision. He stated he wants to look like Jeff Bezos. Given the right system and he follows through, I 100% believe that he can get very close. And then of course, key milestones. One of them would be his optimized metabolism. Another one would be optimizing his technique. And I'll share why that is relevant just now. Phase 2 of the priming phase is something we call the first levers. Remember how I talked about the main constraint? These first levers address that main constraint. Starting off with identity. More often than not, the reason we don't follow through on something is because we haven't made it a part of our identity. And I actually had a conversation with another client yesterday. And to show you the power of identity, yesterday I spoke to a client, very committed actually, and he saw good results. But recently, he's just seeing amazing results. And I asked him, like, what's been the shift? It's been like, Dom, I focused on identity. I started seeing myself as a healthy person and I made it a non-negotiable. And I promise you, if you can shift to, I am a healthy person, I am someone that takes care of my health, I am someone that prioritizes my health, the habits become a natural part of that once you have the right strategy, and then the outcome becomes inevitable. So for Elon specifically, we'd want to change his identity from whatever it is right now to I am someone who prioritizes my health. Then of course, optimizing your environments. You want to make willpower irrelevant. If you don't want to eat junk food, don't have junk food around you. If you want to drink more water, have a water bottle right in front of you so you have the cue. If you want to head to the gym more often, actually have a gym that's 5 minutes away or in your apartment. Make it easy for yourself to succeed. And then what are the high impact habits? What is the main constraint that we need to solve for? And a big one is often stress or sleep. And I know for certain that for Elon, it would be sleep. And this leads me on to phase 3, the engine concierge support. So once we're crystal clear on the data, then we've calculated the data, then we've solved for those first levers. Now we need to execute the plan. And this is twofold. This is what really differentiates us from any other fitness program you'll see out there. It's done for you fitness. And I love saying your problems, our systems. And any problems you have, we have systems for them, both on the concierge support side of things, so what we do for you, and on the mental model side of things, where you have certain frameworks you can follow to navigate through challenging situations. Let's take sleep and jet lag as a problem for Elon, because I know for certain that he travels a lot and he struggles with sleep. So time zone changes, unfamiliar beds, destroy client's sleep cycle, leading to fatigue and poor food choices. What do we do on the concierge side of things? We provide a step-by-step travel protocol based on their flight times, including specific supplement suggestions and morning, evening routines to reset their internal clock in any time zone. So that's what we do for you, amongst some other things. But what we give you, for example, is these mental models. A big one is the morning sun habit. This is the first thing I do in the morning in the new time zone. I get 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight. This is crucial. I recently traveled and I switched time zones a little bit. And I did this and it's so freaking powerful. Do this before you have caffeine. Very, very important. You want to naturally reset your circadian rhythm. There are so many other mental models and concierge support I can get into, but I think you get the point. And when we come up with that custom routine where we give you the concierge support and we give you the mental models, we really solve for every single problem you might encounter. Business dinners, we give you frameworks for that. And what we even do is we have a personal concierge assistant that would guide you throughout your entire travel. We know ahead of time where you are headed, and based on that, we give you suggestions on how to go about the restaurants as well as when you land at the hotel. The vision is beautiful. I was in Verona last week and I ate out a lot, but I thought to myself that how cool would it be? Imagine this. You have a personal concierge assistant basically knowing exactly where you are headed. They communicate with the chef at the restaurant or even at the hotel. Based on that, the chef creates meals based on your preferences and your macros. Then you have 5 options to choose from, and you know exactly that it aligns with your goals. Because the worst thing is focusing on food constantly and not being able to be present, especially when you're at a business dinner. Now that is part of the vision. But for right now, we give you frameworks, mental models, and suggestions that help you optimize and navigate through these situations. Given Elon's resources, if you paid me, I would definitely make this happen already. And on the training side of things, minimal effective training. This is what we specialize in. 3 hours a week, tailored to hotel gyms, unpredictable schedules. And for Elon specifically, what I would do is either the 3-day 30 to 45 minute split or the 5-day 20-minute split. I am really high on the 5-day 20-minute split as of recent, just because I love working out and the feeling I have afterwards, but I don't want to spend like 2 hours in the gym, which is what I used to do. So now 5 days, 20 minutes, I have that feeling 5 days a week, and I know I'm still making progress. Just to give you an idea of what this would look like, for example, this is Alex, upper body dumbbell only alternative. And this is a 15-minute to 20-minute workout that he can do when he has a stressful week and doesn't have much time, as well as traveling. And this is what I created for him. And as you can see the comment right here, these shorter, intense workouts rock. No guilt on work or workout side of things, loving the balance amid the busiest times. As you can see, we even have like a mental model. If I only have access to light weights, I will slow down the negative even more and stay in the stretch position for 1 second to maximize tension, because that's often the case. Like, you only have light dumbbells when you head to a hotel gym. What do? Now, all of our clients have these mental models along with tailored routines for any situation. And that's exactly what we do for Elon. He'd arrive at his 5-star, 7-star hotel, open the app, know exactly what to do, because the personal concierge assistant was in communication with him, communicated that to the trainer, and based on that, he has his workout. Now within this phase as well, we want to, of course, optimize Elon's technique, because technique is so crucial. To give you an example of what this would look like is, for example, this is Brunt, he's a pilot, and here we have his game plan, etc., but then the workout feedback, and you have a Loom video attached where I walk him through everything, and then you also has the feedback attached right here. And then we also attach the feedback into the app, so they just open the app, know exactly the pointers to focus on, and can improve. For every client that joins us, it's very important that we get the technique dialed in, as I mentioned, and we take every client through a strategic technique audit. Now, this will allow us to determine whether they can head to phase 2, which is increased volume and work capacity, and or phase 1, where we need to master their technique. And Elon, I'm sure we need to master their technique, and then from there we can move on to phase 2. But these are strategic mental models or decision trees for our coaches to make the best decisions for our clients. Now, once we have the custom routine dialed in, the nutrition plan is dialed based on his preferences, his macros, we need to optimize his metabolism. And metabolic optimization is really what differentiates us as well, because this allows you to burn more fat at rest and making the whole journey so much more enjoyable, but also giving you the energy you need to go through a 16-hour day, because that's often the problem. It's one thing being in a deficit, but it's another thing having the energy to sustain your day. And metabolic optimization allows you to do that. And the way we achieve that is through a 3-phase principle. And number 1 is strategic macronutrient manipulation. All this is the right combination of carbs, fats, and proteins. The second thing is calories to step ratio. Elon is very busy. I would probably say just above 5K to around 8,000 steps daily. If not, we can also do interval training, which is about 30 minutes, higher speed walking, lower speed walking on a slight incline. This is proven to see amazing results as well. Point is, in combination with that, as well as the sweet spot of resistance training, as I mentioned, we don't make you spend hours in the gym, just two hours a week, sometimes 3 hours a week. We want to find the sweet spot for volume. the minimum amount of volume that can get you the maximum results. And once that is in place, your metabolism is optimized. And I know that was a long priming phase, but this is really important. And again, we do everything for you, but this will set the foundation for the next phase, which is the ascension phase. So now Elon's metabolism is optimized. We've solved for the main constraints and everything is taken care of. Now he moves on to the ascension phase where we would take him on a fat loss phase. And this will be super easy now because his metabolism is optimized and he can eat more while burning fat. But should a weight plateau happen or a weight freeze, we know exactly what to do. Structured refeed or add activity, lower calories, right? Or even should really a stagnation happen, we take him back to the metabolic optimization phase. Point is, our team has decision trees. And just to share the team with you, we have experts, the best experts from around the world. Head nutritionist Maya, of course, would be focused on that. Then we have health and fitness specialists who would be working closely with Elon, and client concierge, of course, on the back end, making sure they're in touch and the link between clients and specialists, but also between hotels and destinations. And then, of course, should injuries happen or we need to optimize recovery, we also have physical therapy specialists. And then the final phase would be the aesthetic phase. And for Elon specifically, we definitely probably go on a shredding phase just because of the amount of fat he has to lose. But at this point, we'd also focus on weak points because his body fat percentage is a lot lower. And we've identified certain weak points where we need to focus on. And I will say that, yes, it's a fat loss phase in the ascension phase, but because he's probably relatively new to the gym, he will gain a lot of muscle even in a deficit, given he's doing the right things, which he will with us. And then he will achieve the Jeff Bezos physique, his goal physique, but more than that, long-term sustainability, because we always teach our clients the why behind the what so that they can do it for the rest of their lives. And one thing I'll mention, of course, for Elon, we would include a private chef. This is part of the vision, but again, given the resources Elon had, or has rather, we would have 100% included private chef for at home. And then we would have our concierge assistant be in touch with the chef, who would be the link between the nutritionist and the chef. Point is, we want to put systems in place that eliminate willpower. And just to share what that would look like in terms of communication, as you can see, the entire team is here. Jakob Junica, Maya Mohammed, all the specialists are there. They see clear summaries, clear workout feedback. What is he saying? Indents on belly getting smaller down to another pounds. Yeah, he's losing weight, sending motivation. But point is, the entire team is there to support him. And by the way, Ryan is a airline pilot and he's absolutely killing it. And I know for certain that if we can make it work for him, any other profession we can make it work for, which is why I'm so confident that Elon will make this work as well. Before I get into some more results, I just want to share also that when you invest into Lazy Shredded, you're not buying another fitness program. You're investing into presence, confidence, and longevity. Because truly, I believe that you haven't prioritized your health is because you haven't seen the return on investment for putting in the time. But what if it gave you more energy and as a result, more productivity and as a result, more focus? You were clear at making decisions. You had more confidence. How much would that impact your career? But how much would that impact your personal life? How much more longevity, freedom would that give you? Start seeing it as your number one strategic asset that will actually make your whole life better, because that is what it is. We work with the biggest companies or clients from the biggest companies in the US and the world. Just to mention a few: CBRE, multi-billion dollar company, and Air Canada, JSX, Delta, Southwest, Danair, etc. Just to share some transformations. Jai, he's a managing director for CBRE, a $35 billion a year company, and this was his 4-month transformation while traveling and everything. And even if you look at his side view, his posture improved so much, but he gained so much muscle. It's truly incredible what you can achieve in a little time with the right system. Then we have Nadeem, a chief IP counsel for a $24 billion a year company. This was his 6-month transformation. Nadeem had been working out his entire life at this point and mediocre results. We gave him the right system, and in 6 months, he absolutely transformed. Just to share one more, because often people are like, it's not possible traveling. It 100% is. Gecko, a United Airline pilot, 6-month transformation right here. Truly, truly incredible. He thought that was the way you're supposed to age. No, now he's his son's hero. His wife is super happy and his friends are envious. Here are the key principles to remember and apply for yourself. First, the audit. Get crystal clear on your current situation. If you're not clear on your current situation, you can't determine the goal or the map to get to the goal. So figure out your metrics, your body fat percentage, your basal metabolic rate, your current energy output. All of this data is super crucial. Then find the main constraint. What is the one thing that if was solved would make everything else easier? And then when it comes to reverse engineering success, use inverted thinking. This is something the most successful people do as well. Ask yourself, how would I guarantee failure? Then do the opposite. Once you're clear on the audit and you set yourself a clear vision, now it's time to focus on the first levers. Focus on identity. Make that shift. Start seeing yourself as a healthy person. I promise you, if you see yourself as a healthy person, the habits will naturally follow. And given the right strategy, success is inevitable. Then optimize your environment. Make it easy for yourself to succeed. And then focus on the main constraints. So you've identified the main constraints in the audit. Now solve for them when you focus for the first levers. More often than not, it's sleep. More often than not, it's stress. More often than not, it's one thing that is holding everything else back. Solve for that. Thirdly, execution. Put the plan into motion. The most important thing when it comes to a plan, both training and nutrition, is it something you can stay consistent with? That is the number one thing. And I also believe that is the number one reason high-level professionals don't actually achieve their physique goals, because it's not that they not disciplined, but they are following a system not made for them. And then whenever unpredictable situations come up, like travel or just earnings week, whatever it may be, they fall off. Now they're consistent for 10 years, but they still look average. Nadeem is a prime example. So make sure your plan is something you can actually stick to. And finally, adapt and adjust accordingly. Plateaus will happen, training plateaus, nutrition plateaus, weight plateaus. Make sure you adjust and adapt. You now have the high leverage system principles. To translate that into a tactical plan you can use today, watch this video next for the full 15-minute dumbbell only blueprint. It's the exact step-by-step blueprint, something similar I shared with Alex, to guarantee results immediately. What I just shared was exactly what I would do if Elon was my client. And given this is exactly what we specialize in, I know for certain that he would be successful. It's not about willpower. It's about having a chaos-proof system. You have that mindset for your career. Now it's time to apply that thinking to your health. Because remember, money means nothing. $1 billion means nothing if you're on your deathbed or if you're not healthy enough to actually enjoy it. I hope this was valuable, and I will see you in the next one.